should they also cover their hair? The covering of the hair of the woman is related to modesty. Hair for a woman is not the same as hair for a man. I mean, now there may be some similarities now that men's hairstyles are starting to look like female hairstyles, and men are now spending time in the beauty parlor and perming and doing all the kinds of things that were commonly known for women in the past. So maybe it's coming to that now. But in the normal society, prior to this new phenomenon around the majority of the countries in the world, women are the ones who tend to focus on the hair, the whole issue of hair, and hair being a part of their beauty, their crowning glory. Covering that hair is a part of modesty. This is something not unique to the final revelation of Islam. It is also mentioned in the Bible with regards to women. So both Christian and Jewish women were really instructed to do the same. Now, the modesty, what is the importance of this? What is the significance of this? The reality is that when a woman beautifies herself with her hair through braiding or perming or whatever, however she does it, which makes her more attractive, invites the attention of the society. If men are attracted who are not from her immediate family, people who can appreciate her beauty without seeking to act in any way on the basis of their appreciation, if outside of that group, then there's potential harm for herself. Her drawing attention of foreign groups of men, foreign meaning men outside of her family, whom she could marry, who are their desires are aroused based on what they see, she is the one who suffers. Rape in the society is not, or there are very, very few cases of women raping men. So it is the women who suffer as a result of drawing or encouraging the intention of men. They're the ones who are molested in the workplaces, in the various walks of life. The molestation of women, the abuse of women is quite prevalent in most societies around the world today. And as I said, part of it is related to the woman exposing herself. So the covering of the hair is for modesty purposes, to discourage unwanted looks and stares in society. So this is the case for women. Naturally, in the case of men, where this is not really the case, it's not a requirement. Islam does not require a man to cover his head. He may do so if he wishes, as a cultural sign, as something to identify Muslims, distinguish themselves from non-Muslims. But it's not a requirement. If a man doesn't wish to wear anything on his head, it's perfectly legitimate for him not to wear anything on his head. And it's specifically not something related to prayer, because although there is no instruction to wear something on the head all the time, there has developed in a number of countries the habit of putting on caps when the time for prayer comes. You may find outside or at the door of some mosques baskets containing a variety of hats. People, as they go inside the mosque, they'll pick up a cap and they put it on their head and they pray, or they'll take their kerchiefs and they tie it on their head, not believing that this is something necessary for them to have their head covered when praying. Actually, this is an innovation. The Prophet gave no instructions regarding the covering of the man's hair during prayer. So to make it now a religious right, something which is necessary, is to distort the original teachings of Islam in this regard. Where the Jews are required, you see them wearing this yarmulke on the back of their heads all the time. And the Pope will also wear it, keeping alive that Jewish tradition within Christianity. But in Islam, a man may wear or may not wear, and it's his of no significance Islamically, whether he does or he doesn't. But, however, as I said, in a society where Muslims are in a minority, this is a means of identifying Muslims, in a non-Muslim majority, is perfectly a legitimate means of expression, but not something we can impose or force or insist on with regards to men. Question number 2. If a man and woman divorce and they have children, who gets custody of the children? And if the woman remarries, who gets responsibility for the children then? What the Prophet Muhammad did was that when children reached the age of around 7, he would put the children between the father and mother and have them choose who they wanted to be with. Of course, this is in a case where both father and mother are known to be righteous. A case where one of the parents is, unrighteous, is drinking or fornicating, whatever, then that child will not be given to that individual. But where there is a mutual disagreement or agreement for divorce, then some courts will award the male children to the mother and the female children to the father. This is common in Saudi Arabia. Why? Because the woman, when she wants to move about, she needs a mahram or a male relative who will accompany her. Her children, her sons, can serve that purpose. Whereas in the case of the daughters will be in need of a mahram, a guardian for them, to wali in the process of marriage, who first and foremost is the father. And as such, by the father being around, then the children would be given, the girls would be given to the father to provide for them the guardianship and custodianship that they need as young women. It is also possible in the younger stages, that where the child is still breastfeeding, etc., that the child remains with the mother. And following that, if the mother remarries, then the child is given to the mother of the mother, or one of her, the closest female relatives. If there aren't any, or then, in some circumstances, for example, the woman may be a convert to Islam, so she has no female Muslim relatives, in which case, then the child may be given to the father if she remarries. And with that, dear viewers, I'd like to thank you for being with us in this segment of the program. I hope you continue to follow the program as it unveils itself over the coming months. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.